Top of the morning, the afternoon, and the evening to you. I am your host, AntMoe, and welcome to Late Nights with AntMoe, where we give you an unadulterated truth on sports, politics, and education. We want to stay true to all of the things that make late night shows. And so with that being said, I want to get into my first, but not only, monologue. Listen, I want to encourage people to do it anyway. This is something similar that I've said before, but it matters more now than it ever has. In a time where inflation is crazy, in a time where we have a lot of hatred and negativity going on in the world, art is setting people free. And so I want you to do it anyway. Stop letting life and having excuses for why you stay still and be stagnant. I got a buddy, and he'll know who I'm talking about when I say this, but I got a buddy who said recently that he's trying to find his balance in work, in the art, and creating. Time out for all of that. Do it. There's going to be somebody who's going to watch this, who's going to be inspired, who's going to be entertained, who's going to be challenged, who's going to be motivated. But if I never do it, people are never reached. The art never gets out there. The truth never gets out there. The perspective never seeks to change anybody. And we got to move on from that. There are two options for fear. Face everything and run, or face everything and rise. It's really that simple. Running from the realities or running from the things that you need to do, the tough things, have never yielded you a benefit. And if you look at your life, you'll realize that. So face everything and rise. Go create. Stop making excuses. Go build. Go start day one at that job, showing up on time, whatever it is. Lastly, I lived out of the same studio. So I don't have any excuses why I was able to rebound and get in a better position in life. You should stop using excuses on why you can't do better with your life as well. It's really that simple, people. I encourage you, I challenge you, and I lament the fact that some people will listen to something like this and they still won't go be great when they have every opportunity to do it. With that being said, let's get into the show. Let's go. First up, we got politics, and we have none other than number 45. And I ain't talking about that 45 that Jordan wore. I'm talking about the president at one time of this here free world, Donald J. Trump, who was in fact indicted and convicted on 34 felony counts of falsifying court documents. Now, is he a savior or is he a demon? Let's be clear. What he is not is innocent, but he's not totally guilty. Let me be clear again. What he's doing is what all of his forefathers did. They raped, they robbed, they pillaged, they took, they came, they saw, they conquered. Listen, man, this guy is not fit, but he kind of is if you think about it. This guy was able to technically fund his own campaign to run for president of the United States when he had no business winning in the first place. He's technically guilty of treason. You are believed to have partnered with a whole nother country to skew the voting, to use certain things to work votes in your favor. If we look back on Anglo-Saxon, white American, whatever you want to call them, this is the history of what they've done. And it's time that we stop acting like this guy is going to be the one to set us free from something. Black supporters of Trump, I want you to stop acting like he's your savior, that he actually is holding true to Christian values or some conservative standpoint in life. Not the guy who said grab him by the P. Now, we late night, but I'm a believer, so I ain't going to act like I'm going to say that actual word. But no. We're not going to act like that same guy is going to bring the great reform that changes this nation to make it great again. By the way, I got a question. When was America great last? I'll wait. Some people say that it was right after the Civil War, where black people were given the ability to sit at certain tables. They were given their freedom if they survived the war, and they were able to vote. They were able to make decisions on the country. And we know that all changed and was able to be skewed in the favor of white Anglo-Saxon males again. So I just want us to be real and understand that he's just doing what he knows how to do best. And that's worked every single thing in his favor. Now, he may not be able to uphold Christian values, but what he can do is make some money. And last time I checked, that's not Christian. That's not evil. It's not Buddhist. It's not African. It's just capitalism. And I'll take capitalism because we don't have good opponents. The saying is we choose the lesser of two evils. That is exactly what we're doing in America today. We're the people who actually have an ability to hold true to Christian values and make changes. We don't accept. They would never be able to get in because they would be too much of a boat rocker. Most people are going to come in and they're going to be hard, staunch Democratic or hard, staunch Republican. But we got to stop acting like these guys are really the answers to us getting better as a nation. That's not going to happen anytime soon. So this is dedicated to all you people who believe that this is for this country represents the land of the free and the home of the brave. It does. Just not for black people. That guy is able to still run for office, and he has 34 felony counts, and people are going to vote for him. There are black men in this country who have one felony count who can't get a job. This guy gets to run the free world. We got to stop kidding ourselves. Anyway, you decide, but we're moving on. Next up, we got entertainment. We have the Diddler. A couple of names that you may know him by: Sean Combs, P Diddy, Brother Love, Puff Daddy. As of late, Butt Buddy, Culture Vulture, Abuser. This is what we have to understand. Being a culture vulture has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Anybody who is willing to pillage an entire culture to make yourself richer and make somebody else considerably more poor is a vulture. It's a culture vulture. You're not a good person. As we continue to sit and look at the things going on around us in 2024, we have to be real and realize that we're surrounded around the snakes of the world. And it's been that way since the very beginning. But as a culture of black people, we align ourselves to be vultures, to be vultured. We allow the people to come in, to make us promises, to get us to change on each other, to not show any level of solidarity, and it bites us in the butt every time. Nobody is surprised by what we saw in that video. Let's be very clear. We knew that there was a hint of that going on. We knew that there was some homosexual tendencies going on. We knew that that guy had stole. Come on, man. The closest guy to Biggie Smalls was probably complicit in something happening to him. Keep it a bean. But what we're not going to do is act like this is picking on a black man. No, it's not. That black man set himself up for failure. And the sooner that we be real about the choices that we make and the decisions that follow, the repercussions, the fallouts, we could get somewhere. But we'll act like we're super extreme on one end or the other. He's innocent or he's guilty. He's doing what he was taught. Doesn't make it okay, doesn't make it right, but it makes it the American way. Yeah, we're going to act like they came over on the Mayflower and they had a kumbaya with the Indians and they didn't kill anybody and they didn't force their traditions and they didn't spread sickness. Okay. I'll let y'all have that. But we know the truth. Once again, we're not surprised. And here's a shock that you may not believe. He may get out of this relatively unscathed. His bank account ain't been froze last time I checked because we would have heard about it. We've seen this dude traveling the world. He said he want to talk to all the top 20 richest, influential black, white, and all the above people. They say that he's got cameras everywhere in his house. He has a bunch of people that he could implicate. I'm not saying he's not going to go unpunished, but he may go relatively unscathed. Argue with your mama. I'm just telling you what may be the case. Moving on. Let's get into some sports. New media. I'm talking about the Draymond Greens of the world. I'm talking about the LeBron Jameses. I'm talking about, let me look what I wrote down here. Jeff Teague, Gilbert Arenas, Paul George, to name a few. These are all people who have had the opportunity to speak their truth about who they are, about what they've experienced from a first person perspective. My question is this beautiful, or is it kind of in a way whitewashing the things that we know to be true about media? Is new media a pro or a con? Some people love the exclusivity of LeBron James sitting down and saying, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach. Some people hated it. That's the nature of the world, of course. But it gave people a freedom to move in a way that we never have seen before, right? We now started seeing that these players can make these decisions and stand on it. They can tell their story without having a middleman. So is it a pro or is it a con? I don't think that most things are as extreme as we make them out to be. I do think a lot of the times that there is a middle ground. I think that LeBron was the forerunner for a lot of these things. And so in that regard, it's kind of damning on him, because if we look at the inception, you're the person who started this trend. Now we got KD going to 2 and 3 teams. We got guys, saying that they're injured, all of these things, the load management, it all gives a bad name to the game when a lot of people, although a lot of people can agree that the game is more skilled than it's ever been, they could say that it's softer than it's ever been. When we look at the load management thing, you look at players like Jordan and Barkley and all of these guys, they never were out for the most part. Jordan was out, of course, that first year, that second year with the foot injury, but other than that, they played every game. So as much as we can give kudos to these players for making rule changes and putting things in place and creating platforms for themselves to make their own money, to make sure that they don't have to be dependent on somebody, we also can say that you've also kind of sullied the game for making it true to what it is for people who really love it. When we look at a Bronny James, the question is he a real pro? Or is he just being able to live off of nepotism? Being able to get a team like the Lakers, who, let's be real, would probably not look at him ever if his name was not LeBron James II. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. I, for one, am a fan of nepotism. Why not? Once again, you can look at any culture, Asian, you can look at Jewish, you can look at Mexican or Hispanic, you can look at Caucasian. They all find a way to bless their own. We seem to be the only ones who don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't agree with it. And I wonder how long we could use slavery as a reason why we can't get on a unified front about anything. It is what it is. Y'all do with that what you want. But I think that Bronny James actually is kind of hard, if I'm being honest. Because if you're looking at a guy, it's the same as doing the combine and guys are in shorts, no pads, nobody's running at them, no tackling in football. Listen, the guy's shooting jumpers with nobody in his face. He's clearly got a vertical. He got something from dad for sure. I think he has an IQ for the game. But bro, you averaged like 2 points a game. You barely got burned on a USC team that wasn't that great. I'm not being negative or hating. I'm just telling you the truth on what's being seen here. This guy is benefiting from being connected properly. And to that, I say bravo. We might as well use the resources that we have to further the causes that we want to be a part of. Not everybody gets this opportunity, but guess what? Life ain't fair. It's like people getting mad at Shedeur Sanders or Shiloh or Bossy or any of them for utilizing the platform that their dad has, the cachet that their dad has. Some of us wish we had that opportunity. So to me, I say it doesn't matter if you like it. It doesn't matter if LeBron James Jr., Bronny James, is actually ready to step up and be an NBA player. Let him get the opportunity. And if he succeeds, then it doesn't matter anyway. If he fails, he'll still be okay. So let that man do what he wants to do. But my question is LeBron James the reason for all of the backlash? Once again, we wouldn't know who LeBron James Jr. was if not for LeBron James Sr. He also went on platforms and said that his son was better than a lot of players that were in the NBA already. That is egregious, to be honest. But it's what you get to do when you get your own platform. You get the cap. You get to say whatever you want to say whenever you want to say it. LeBron wants us to believe he's the smartest guy we've ever seen. You know, he talks about we should be playing. Somebody said I should be playing chess because that's how I play the game. And we always see you starting to read a book and all of those great things. I used to be a LeBron James fan. I can't get with it anymore. I think something matters for the Dirks of the world, the Magic Johnsons of the world, the Kobes of the world, the purists, the Birds of the world. And there are others. Now, I will tell you that I believe that Damian Lillard should have left. They clearly showed they weren't going to put anything around you, and they didn't show a value for who you were. But that's just the world that we live in. I hope Luka stays. I hope Tatum stays. But it's got to be a pro for these guys to be able to have their own platforms, to tell their own stories, to not think about how the narrative of even Allen Iverson would have been shifted earlier if he was able to tell his story. We have to hear about everything on the back end. On the flip side, maybe we wouldn't be so beloved of Jordan if we knew the type of person that he was and some of the things that he did. But we're front runners in America. We love the winners. Doesn't matter about the quality of the person as long as they win at a high clip. And that's for a Tiger, that's for a Jordan, and the list goes on. You have to decide what side of the fence that you want to sit on. I'll let you decide. Well, that's all we got for the first show, folks. We got into a little entertainment. We got into a little politics. We got into a little sports. I plan on doing a lot more and getting a lot better. This is just me in here doing my little thing. If you feel strongly about anything, I encourage you to comment below. Share it if you like it. But I'm not going to let anything stop me outside of God completely stripping the platform for me for whatever the reason. Stop me from creating and doing what I believe I was told to do and who I believe I was supposed to be since I was a little boy. You do me a favor. You do the same, and you be easy. Why now? Until next time. Peace.